Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Lost in Video. Now, it's been quite some time since I did a movie retrospective on this channel, and I figured it's about time to break that streak. Therefore, we're going to start off with a movie that I've been wanting to review ever since I started this channel. Combining elements of horror and thriller, we're going to jump right into my retrospective of 2014's The Guest. Directed by Adam Wingard, The Guest is an intense blend of action, suspense, and dark humor that pays tribute to 1980s genre cinema while carving out its own distinctive space. The movie stands out not only for its meticulously crafted direction and atmospheric storytelling, but also for the remarkable performances by Dan Stevens and Micah Monroe. With its sharp pacing, compelling visuals, and an unforgettable soundtrack, I 100% believe that The Guest is deserving of cult status in the realm of film. Just to be clear, there will be some spoilers in here, and while I'll try not to be too explicit, if you haven't seen The Guest but would like to, I recommend pausing this video, checking the movie out, and then coming back to check out the retrospective afterwards. Micah Monroe stars as Anna Peterson. Monroe is most well known for her starring role in the popular horror film It Follows, and even more recently she starred in another highly acclaimed horror film featuring Nicolas Cage, Longlegs. Dan Stevens plays David, the titular guest of the movie. Stevens has also appeared in films such as Beauty and the Beast, Abigail, and Cuckoo. Leland Orser plays Spencer Peterson, the father of Anna and her brothers Caleb and Luke. Orser was in one of the most disturbing scenes in the movie Seven, and also appeared in films such as Taken and Alien Resurrection. Sheila Kelly plays Laura Peterson, the matriarch of the Peterson family and husband to Spencer. Sheila was in a movie I really enjoy, the Nicolas Cage-led Matchstick Men, as well as the television series Lost, and she was even in an episode of The Sopranos as well. Brendan Meyer plays Luke Peterson. Meyer is also known for his role as Jesse on the television series The OA, as well as movies such as the awful Tooth Fairy starring The Rock, and the amazing Color of Out of Space, again starring Nick Cage. This makes Meyer the third person in this movie's cast to have also worked with Nicolas Cage. Last but certainly not least, the late great Lance Reddick is featured in this movie as Major Carver, a mysterious military entity whose goals are unclear. Lance Reddick is perhaps the most well-known cast member, having had roles in the John Wick movies, among many others, as well as roles in television shows like The Wire, Lost, and even It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The story kicks off when David, a mysterious ex-soldier, arrives unexpectedly at the home of the Petersons, a grieving family still reeling from the loss of their son Caleb, who died in combat in the military. David claims to have served alongside Caleb and presents himself as a devoted friend who promised to check in on Caleb's family. Warm, polite, and seemingly genuine, David quickly wins the trust of the Petersons, who are comforted by his presence and his stories. Laura Peterson, the mother, is particularly drawn to David's warmth as she sees him as a link to her deceased son. Spencer, the father, appreciates David's respectful and helpful demeanor, while the youngest son, Luke, finds in David a protector against school bullies. However, the Petersons' daughter, Anna, grows suspicious of David as odd and violent incidents begin to follow in his wake. A seemingly random bar fight, a sudden explosion, and unexplained deaths shake Anna's trust in her family's guest. When Anna investigates David's background and uncovers alarming truths, a chain reaction of suspense and terror unfolds, propelling the film towards an intense and visually striking climax set against a perfect Halloween backdrop. Dan Stevens' portrayal here is nothing short of mesmerizing. Known best at the time for his role from Downton Abbey, Stevens abandons that familiar persona and instead embodies a character who is equal parts charming, lethal, and unpredictable. From the moment he steps into the Petersons' home, Dan Stevens imbues David with an enigmatic allure that makes it impossible to look away. His performance is a great lesson in controlled intensity, He switches seamlessly between affable guest and cold-blooded killer, creating a palpable tension that keeps viewers on edge. What makes Stevens' performance especially compelling is his ability to convey menace through subtle gestures and shifts in expression. A slight shift in the tone of his voice or the flicker of a smile hints at the danger lurking beneath his polished exterior. This duality, the smooth talker and the relentless enforcer, is reminiscent of iconic action thriller characters, drawing comparisons to both Arnold Schwarzenegger and Robert Patrick's respective portrayals of T-800 and T-1000 cyborgs in the Terminator franchise, as well as other classic anti-heroes. Yet Stevens infuses David with a unique charisma that makes him more than a one-dimensional antagonist. In my opinion, he becomes a character nearly as memorable as those that inspired him. Micah Monroe's performance as Anna Pearson is equally commendable as it adds depth to the narrative. Monroe excels at playing characters who radiate both vulnerability and strength, as we continue to see in each performance she gives into the horror thriller genre. In The Guest, she embodies the role of a young woman who senses danger even as those around her remain oblivious. Monroe's portrayal of Anna evolves throughout the film. She starts as a typical teenager navigating family grief and personal life, but gradually emerges as the story's voice of reason and moral anchor. Monroe's chemistry with Stevens is another highlight of the film. Their interactions are charged with an undercurrent of tension and mistrust that drives the narrative forward. Whether exchanging loaded glances at the dinner table or confronting each other in moments of revelation, Monroe and Stevens play off each other with a sharpness that elevates the film's stakes. Monroe's Anna Peterson is no passive observer. She's proactive, intelligent, and willing to fight for her family, all qualities that make her a memorable final girl, at least in my opinion, in contemporary horror thriller cinema. One of the most impressive aspects of The Guest is its rich tapestry of homages to 1980s genre cinema. Director Adam Wingard and screenwriter Simon Barrett skillfully incorporate elements from iconic films such as The Terminator and Halloween 3: Season of the Witch, weaving them into the fabric of their story without losing any originality. As I alluded to earlier, David's character is a clear nod to the Terminator's relentless, almost mechanical nature. Like Schwarzenegger's T-800, David is a formidable force, efficient, calculated, and seemingly unstoppable, which adds a layer of suspense as audiences wonder just how far David will go to complete his mysterious mission. The influence of Halloween 3: Season of the Witch can be seen in the film's use of atmosphere, music, and the Halloween setting itself, complete with the 3 classic Halloween 3 masks seen on a display towards the end of the movie. The film's climax, set in a high school decked out for a Halloween dance, features a kaleidoscope of neon lights, fog, and disorienting props that create a sense of disquiet and surrealism. This setting echoes the tone of Halloween 3, which mostly favored ambience and mood over straightforward scares. By choosing such a backdrop, Wingard effectively immerses the audience in a world where reality bends under the pressure of imminent danger. Adam Wingard's direction feels confident and meticulous, demonstrating a keen eye for visual storytelling. Each shot is carefully composed, using bold color schemes and lighting to evoke a sense of unease. The interplay of warm and cool tones is particularly striking. The golden hues of domestic interiors contrast with the cold blues and purples of nighttime scenes, emphasizing the duality of David's character: invited guest by day, predator by night. Probably my favorite sequence in the film is the Halloween maze showdown at the end. Wingard's use of strobe lights and smoke creates a hallucinatory experience that amplifies the tension at the movie's climax. The maze, with its disorienting design, serves as a metaphor for the psychological labyrinth that Anna must navigate to confront the truth about David. This visually arresting set piece displays Wingard's ability to combine style and substance, ensuring that every frame contributes to the story's suspense. Wingard's direction is further enhanced by Robbie Baumgartner's cinematography, which emphasizes tight, claustrophobic shots that heighten the sense of paranoia and danger. The camera lingers just long enough on Stevens' expressions to convey a sense of calculated menace, while Monroe's moments of grim realization are captured with equal care. This balance of perspective draws the viewer into the characters' experiences, making the tension more personal and immediate. The film's pacing is a masterclass in maintaining tension. At just under 100 minutes, The Guest wastes no time with unnecessary subplots. The story unfolds with deliberate speed, shifting from scenes of uneasy calm to bursts of sudden violence. This rhythmic pacing keeps the audience invested, mirroring the unpredictable nature of David himself. Each scene builds on the last, creating a steady escalation that culminates in the film's explosive finale. Simon Barrett's script is sharp and efficient, with dialogue that serves dual purposes, revealing character traits and deepening the mystery. David's cryptic lines about taking care of the Peterson family take on increasingly sinister meanings as the plot unfolds. Meanwhile, Anna's conversations with her family and friends reveal her growing unease without resorting to cliched exposition. This economical storytelling is a breath of fresh air, allowing viewers to engage with the film without being bogged down by excessive backstory. A standout feature of The Guest is its score and soundtrack, put together by Steve Moore of the synthwave band Zombie. The music is an integral part of the film, echoing the electronic scores of John Carpenter's past works while infusing a modern sensibility. From the moment David arrives at the Petersons' home, the soundtrack weaves through the narrative, punctuating moments of suspense with pulsating, synth-driven beats. Songs like A Day by the Clan of Zymox and The Magician by Mike Simonetti evoke a retro-futuristic feel that underscores the movie's homage to both the past and the present. However, my favorite song on the soundtrack is probably Haunted When the Minutes Drag by Love and Rockets, released in 1985. I highly recommend that one. The use of music goes beyond mere background accompaniment. It helps to shape the film's identity. The electronic score amplifies key scenes, creating an immersive experience that transports the audience into a heightened reality of the story. During the climatic face-off at the high school Halloween maze, the combination of visual and auditory elements reaches its peak, blending the eerie strains of the score with flashing, colorful lights. As a matter of fact, this synthesis of sound and sight is one of the film's greatest achievements and one of the components that makes the movie so memorable to me. Beneath its thrilling surface, The Guest explores themes of grief, trust, and the consequences of blind loyalty. The Peterson family's acceptance of David, driven by their vulnerability and their longing to reconnect with a family member they lost, serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of putting your trust into the unknown. David's transformation from protector into predator underscores the idea that appearances can be deceiving and that danger can sometimes come disguised as salvation. One of the best examples of this takes place when David takes Luke to a bar to confront Luke's school bullies, whom David gives an aggressive beating in an attempt to get Luke to stand up for himself. If you've seen the movie, and I certainly hope you have, then you know there's a beautiful payoff to this setup, and a nice little character arc for Luke is completed by the end of the story. In conclusion, The Guest is an ideal film to enjoy during the fall season, with its atmospheric nods to Halloween and a suspenseful, gripping story that complements the cooler, darker days of autumn. Its homage to classic films, standout performances, and hauntingly nostalgic soundtrack make it a perfect addition to any seasonal movie lineup. As more audiences discover this film and its unique blend of action, horror, and dark humor, The Guest is poised to continue its growth as a cherished cult classic, ensuring its place in the pantheon of modern genre cinema. Well, that just about does it for my retrospective of 2014's The Guest. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed revisiting this awesome movie. Once again, thank you for stopping by, and thank you so much for getting lost in video. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.